turned up this afternoon to do a bit of roach fishing, and in my shorts and t-shirt, and it's decidedly grey over there. The wind's a bit cold, but it doesn't matter. Always got some appropriate clothing, so I've put a few extra layers on. Got a fleece, got an umbrella, can't be that bad. That's the swim. Plenty of swallows whizzing around. Lovely day. Just so you can see, it's typical Fens. It's breezy everywhere else, which means it's windy here. But down there I'm out of it a bit. Let's just hope it don't pour down, because otherwise it'd be right in my face. But still, let's crack on. Let's get set up. A little bit tight in here, troops, but nice and comfy. Tuck down out of the wind a little bit. So the surface is nice and calm. I'm going to do a little bit of pole fishing to start off with. My margin pole out, see what's around. Plan was the next couple of days, so I was going to have a little afternoon, evening session today, and a tent session tomorrow on the drain. So I planned to stop off at the tackle shop before I came here, give myself some maggots, red maggots, worms and stuff. But wouldn't you know it, sod's law, last minute substitute called into work next 2 days on my days off. So just an afternoon and evening session. I didn't see any point in me going out splashing loads of money on bait. It's just going to go to waste, because after a day's 10 days working on the trot. So that'd be my normal tactic with corn, loose feeding some particles. See what depends what's about. I mean, this little bit of a stretch, very good for roach. Can also be good for some big hybrids and bream. So I shall play it by ear. I won't put a lot of feed in straight away, just some particles, little and often. Try and get them competing and feeding, and see what's around on the corn. If it turns out to be bream down there, or the big hybrids, then I'll have to introduce some ground bait, because they won't hang around long if there's nothing for them to eat. So that's it, we'll play by ear. Another day, another drain. It's a Lincolnshire drain as always with me. Love the drain fishing, it's free fishing. All you need is your environment HC rod licence. And I've got to say, it makes a change. First time I fished this swim this season, and there's no litter. Normally when you come up here, you know, ground bait bags strewn all over the place, empty tin corns, but looks like it's been pretty quiet up here. So I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign really. No one's been fishing it, maybe there's nothing there, but the water levels are okay, they're fine. They're quite regulated up here. So, you know, they're quite high. Doesn't look like to be much of a tug in it. Now the sun's putting in an appearance. There's me worried about getting cold. It looks like we're going to have an afternoon in the sunshine, hopefully catching a few roach. Let's get this done. I'll show you the swim in a second. I already showed you a little bit of it before, when I thought it was going to go, oh, it's going to rain, I only got my shorts. But yeah, you know, it's summer. It's a nice little stretch. It's narrower than where I normally fish along here, so yeah, I'm a bit further upstream. I say it's strange, this drain. Little sections produce different species of fish at different times of year. And up here, this is my sort of like normal, one of my go-to roach swims. So hopefully the roach are going to play ball, and we can get a couple of them out over the pound, because they are in here. It's just a matter of, hopefully, if they're there, getting them feeding, getting them competing, and get them on the bank. Well, the first job of the day is to plumb the depth. That's my plumb of choice. Goes onto the hook. Pull the rubber up to secure it. And let's go, and then you just gently place it in. That's slightly over depth, like you can see there, an inch. I'm fishing slightly further out than that, so stick on the extra section, get out where we're actually fishing, and you can see that's still slightly over depth. So these just needs to come down a smidgen. Technical term that, troops, a smidgen. And the ideal scenario is to have your, I'm no expert at pole fishing, to have your hook bait plumb on bottom. There you can see that's, mine is slightly, I mean ever so slightly over depth. And that's how I'm going to fish. I'm about half an inch over depth. If I struggle to see bites or struggle to hit bites, I shall change it accordingly. But at the moment, I'm just slightly over depth. Right. We put a little bit of loose feed out there. Let's see if there's any fish out there. Let's try a longer drop. Let's see. Let's see with a longer drop. Little tap. Right, troops. Couple of hours into the session. So far, I had a couple of little knocks on the pole. It started getting really windy, crosswind, so it was getting harder and harder to keep the bait positioned. And so I only had a couple of little knocks. I went on a drop for a little while, as you saw. A couple of little taps. I had one on briefly. Felt like a good roach or rudd, but bumped it off. And that was on the rise. You know, the bait had been in a while, and as I was lifting it out, and a roach or a rudd took it. You know, it felt good, but as I bumped off, so no cigar. So I reverted to type, you know, because the conditions are a bit, let's say, were a bit blowy. And it's strange, you know, one minute it's roasting hot, blue skies, and next minute it's grey, windy, cold. So once the sun comes out, them horse flies are all over the place. They're trying to bite my head. So we go, yeah. So we reverted to type Waggler fishing now. I'm fishing on the bottom. I thought, well, if I'm going to be fishing for 1 or 2 bites, 1 or 2 fish, I might as well fish for something decent. So I've gone from size 16, very fine pole rigs, size 16 hooks, to my normal £6 line, size 14 hook, single grain of corn, lift method, slightly over depth. Not a lot of depth out there, but you know, there's plenty of colour. It fishes well in the margins here. So far it hasn't. It normally does. Fishes well in the margins, so I've got my bait out, got my trap set, so I'm just gonna, you know, I'm still confident I'm gonna catch fish. So just a matter of when the roach move in, and if they do, are they any decent roach, or along this little bit of a stretch get some big hybrids. So that's what I'm hoping for. So I've got some bait down, got a bait in the water. What more do you want? You know, I mean, what, you want fish, didn't you? So do I. But you know, yeah, it's one of those, when you're fishing a natural venue and you're not catching, there's 2 options. There's always 2 options. First option is you're on a river or a drain or even a canal where you're fishing, there's no fish. And if you're fishing in a space where there's no fish, you're stuffed, aren't you? And the second option is there's fish there, but you're doing something wrong. Now, it's either your presentation, your depth, could be your bait, could be your hook size, could be anything, the method you're fishing, and that's what you've got to try and work out. And I'm hoping it's the latter. I hope there's fish here and I'm doing something wrong. Well, I know there's fish here. I've seen them topping. I've had one on bumped, but they're not feeding as aggressively as I normally do up here. But that could be the weather conditions. It could be there's not been a lot of bait going in. There's not been a lot of people fishing here. You know, it could be a whole host of things. That's the thing I like about fishing rivers and drains, especially the drains. You know, it could be a whole host of reasons why you're not catching, and it's up to you. You know, all little grey cells to try and work out why not, and then try and sort it. And that's what we're trying to do this afternoon, this evening, and hopefully we will. We'll catch a few roach. And this is a swim. And that's not rain. That is small fish topping. I just introduced ½ kilo of party mix, 4 or 5 jaffas, and the surface has erupted. So I started off the session all delicate, pole fishing, opening the bag up on a roach, and it really didn't pan out. So I've reverted to type, gone with what I know. Rod and reel. I've pinned some bait down on the deck. Fishing over the top of it. There's fry everywhere, and it's nothing that I've thrown in, because the party mix went down with a bait dropper. The Jaffa's fast sinking, so all this is just small fry in the vicinity. Let's hope there's some bigger roach and rudd around. What can I say, troops? Another diabolical deed with fishing for pleasure. I don't know what's going on with me at the moment. Another blank. My luck, I was sitting here and I was actually thinking, I've never actually blanked ever on this drain when I've been roach fishing. And there's always a first. What will Roy Castle say? I'm a record breaker. I'd say, I'm really struggling. My luck is dire. You know, if I fell into a barrel of tits, I'd come out sucking my thumb. It's, you know, it's been really bad. And I just don't know what I know for a fact I'm not doing anything wrong. I know these venues like the back of my hand, and I'm just not catching. You know, it's really strange. You know, so if you watched another video of mine, I thank you for watching. Hit a like button, hit a dislike button. Oh, what's your worst run of luck? I mean, on natural venues at the moment, my beloved drains are giving me a right kicking. I tell you. You know, well, I had a decent one on straight away, more or less 10 minutes after I started fishing. Decent rudd or roach, don't know what it was, didn't see it, but it felt good, and that bumped me off, and I thought I was going to fill my boots. And once again, I don't know. You know, it's hard work at the moment on my drains. I just can't fathom it out. As I said earlier, I'm snookered. I'm working for 10 days on the bounce now, so I ain't going to get time to fish at all. I'm not going to get any more rain either, so not for a little while. So it's, you know, it's I don't know. I really don't. Thanks for watching, troops. So I do apologise for the lack of fish, but that's why it's called fishing and not catching, I suppose. Take care, and I'll see you on the bank again soon.